Hello and welcome back to Intuitive Terms. This episode is called Savor Every Byte. Number 1, big is not always beautiful. I'm Ruben Youssef of Samsung Next, Tel Aviv, where we're looking to help as many high-tech communities, startups, and people succeed, while we're also interested in investing in software and services startups. If that interests you, please visit at samsungnextlv.com. As always, let's start with what we want to do today. Well, this time, I'm stressing that data costs money. Well, at least it does on metered networks, like 3G or LTE, anything you need to buy a data plan for. Well, data plans are like batteries, only you charge them with your wallet instead of a wall socket. And you must realize that in order to make your users happy, you need to be as frugal as possible with their money or you'll drive them away. How? Well, let's start with identifying the possible issues. Please consider that there's more than one way that you might be misusing network, and the first one, which we'll focus on today, is something you do not usually think about. It's app size. That's right. App size will determine whether a user downloads an app to begin with, since most downloads are on the go where there is no Wi-Fi. Furthermore, app size will also determine if a user will accept your updates for the same reason. And while losing users altogether is bad, being forced to support legacy code sounds worse to me. The second pain point is more obvious. Everybody understands that day-to-day usage needs to be efficient, but not everybody knows what to do in order to achieve maximum efficiency. But we'll cover that next time. Freaking out? Well, don't. We're here to help. Let's start with the basics. The biggest contributor to app size are image resources. The first and easiest step you should take every couple of weeks is housekeeping. Use lint and similar tools to review the images that are in your project folders to find and remove images that appear more than once or images that appear but are not being used at all. If you've never done this, it should shave off a few good megabytes off your application. Now that you know all your images are useful, time to make sure that they're optimized. See, most designers tend to save the resources they provide in the most expensive method, which also includes a lot of metadata you cannot see, such as layers, editing software, time, date, location, and more. And by using online engines, you can strip up to 90% of image file size without giving up an ounce of quality. While we're on the subject of quality, why use standard formats at all when there are some progressive formats which look better and are far more efficient in terms of storage, runtime, memory, and more? I'm referring to vector drawables, of course, which stretch better and are more lightweight, which means you'll need less sizes to support the same amount of screen sizes and resolutions. Last and most advanced in terms of change is to change the premise on which you rely on using images at all and switching to tinting a single set of images which you can use everywhere, either by theme or based on the dynamic content on the screen by using the palette API. That way you can reduce the amount of images you have, which could save you a lot. Now that we got images sorted, let's talk about text, and more specifically code, which comes in two groups. First thing will be your code, whose optimization might not save you much in app size, but will almost guarantee to save you a lot of headaches and bugs. By finding and removing duplicate code snippets with lint and other tools, you can get rid of a lot of code which is efficient in way more ways than once. The second and more significant is third-party code you're using. Most developers import a library for just one or two features, and some of these libraries contain a lot of code, resources, and more. Now, I'm not suggesting you should stop using libraries at all. However, I strongly urge you to run an inventory check on your libs and SDKs to see if you're actually using all of them. Do a bit of research on the libs that you do use and others to see if maybe there are better usage options that will help you reduce dependencies and perhaps even perform better. If you need a little help doing that, I strongly recommend Googling SafetyK. Last and most advanced, I recommend looking into the code you're importing and see if you can optimize it or maybe carve out only what you need. Do so at your own risk though. Now, after we optimize what the app is made of, why not compress the result APK with ProGuard? It's safer too, and voila, you should have a lean and mean application. Okay, now we're done. Please join us next time for another installment of Internet of Terms.